Alright, so after climbing a little bit, I finally made it to Jukk, one of the other ones that we're not hitting in the 310 raid, but I still wanted to get a video out on. So Jukk is actually quite interesting in the way his HP is laid out, because if I remember correctly without checking the info tab, a lot of his stuff's, a lot of his segments actually have the same amount of health. Yeah, all of his segments have the same amount of health. And armor as well. So this is really interesting. So with Jukk, there are definitely body parts that we can attack, and there are definitely body parts we can avoid, in order to make sure that we are, still dealing enough damage to kill him while avoiding armor. Excuse me. While avoiding armor, um, so that way we can just finish this boss as quickly as possible. Um, this is kind of turning into a solo raids thing, but these strategies are still totally fine for clan raid battle. So all of his body has 28 point or 282k. Um, and we need to deal 808k to kill him. And so we only need to attack 3 of these segments. Typically with Jukk, we would just kind of follow the coming Starl strategy, which is just head, torso, and both legs. Because we can attack with these 3, head, 282, torso, 282, legs, 282. That would give us more than enough to actually bring him down. This is where I want to really make this note that these strategies are general, okay? And a big reason for that is because they're not accounting for a lot of these aren't going to be accounting for debuffs. Here's a really good example of this. Jukk has a minus 20% all leg damage. So, if you see that, and especially for Jukk, one thing you could do is you could just, instead of attacking legs, just go for arms. Going for arms, they literally have the same amount of health and same amount of armor dispersed all throughout. And so it really doesn't matter whether you're attacking arms or legs. For the purpose of general strategy, we'll attack the head, the torso, and the legs. If we see that he has all leg damage reduction, then we'll swap over to arms. This could even apply for if he has all torso damage reduction. We can jump from head to then arms and then to legs. Jukk's one of the ones that is the most easily adaptable to different strategies. That being said, I'll just go over a quick card usage. So for me, for Jukk, because we can effectively attack anything, but because we'll be using sterile strategies, one thing to note is that all of his body parts have the same amount of health. So we'll be doing just a head, a torso, and then we'll be doing because we're attacking all parts, this deck's interesting because it can hit all parts without suffering any damage reductions as long as all parts have armor or all parts have no armor. So if all parts have armor, what you can do, and you can see my mouse on screen. Actually, I could just demonstrate this in practice real quick. For armor, we can literally just swipe all the way across the body like this. Of course, we're only hitting one leg, so we are missing a leg, but we are hitting all 3. This will help more evenly distribute your damage. If you want to, even midway through, you can just switch over to the other leg, and then switch back, and back again. So that's a really easy way to handle this kind of this third deck. If all the armor was gone, then you could easily just swap this back out for Razorwind. And then, of course, the fourth, my tried and true limb deck, just swap out for armor or for body, and that'll be fine. Of course, watch out for my calls. I always make calls through the clan inbox. Collect these real quick. I always make calls through here. Watch out for the calls. Especially with Jukk because he does have all these same, and so if we see a Jukk strategy, and like I mentioned, attack head, torso, and legs, and then I post strategies like attack head, arms, and torso, and I leave out the legs, to be like, hey, what the hell, he's going fucking nuts over here. But watch the debuffs. Watch the debuffs, because that's probably why I would just suggest this change in strategy. But for general purposes, for Jukk, I'm gonna go back real quick. For general purposes, we'll just stick with head, torso, and both legs.